This is Patriot Sports Radio.
Patriot Sports Radio.
Fed up with the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media. If it's sports, from the high school level to the pros, we're talking about it. Like the red-blooded Americans we are.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Let's do this. Here's Eric, John, Chris, and the coach.
Welcome back, my friends. If you're new, then welcome in. Patriot Sports Radio, a little NFL recap action. John's here, coming straight to us from Colorado. Coach Chris is over there making the show go. I had Coach on the brain because I was wondering where he's at. Chris is over there shoveling coal, not Coach. Coach is probably chasing a deer or some tater wedges. Who knows what he's up to? All kinds of stuff this week. The Eagles continue to dominate. The Packers have the most wins in NFL history. I didn't know this, John. The Bears, forever, as long as the NFL has existed, have had the most wins in NFL history.
Yeah, and it sounds really nice, and I'm sure it's a nice, cute little banner you can put in your stadium, but it doesn't really matter at this point. That's my official take on it.
Yeah, we're so far away from those black and white days that it's almost like they didn't exist at this point.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields looked good, and they lost the game, so check and check.
Exactly. 20 for 25. Two interceptions. You just want to know that if he needs to, he can actually put an offense together. And
They were kind of garbage time interceptions, though, so
yeah.
you know, they were like, we're desperately trying to come back. I think those two count as one, I'd say.
Just keep losing.
Yep. Whatever you do, keep losing. Aaron Rodgers out there saluting the crowd, reclaiming his ownership. I wonder if that's the last time he plays the Packers. I'm just not sure he's coming back next year. Especially with the positive first impression, or I guess second impression. Head and Shoulders said you never get a second chance at a first impression, but Jordan Love kind of did. He chucked that touchdown to Watson, and like the slate was wiped clean for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way too early to start theorizing about what Aaron Rodgers is going to do next year, but I don't know. The theme of this whole NFL season is the more you pay, the less you get out of somebody. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah. Jair Alexander, Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they got to fire Hackett. I mean, they have to, right?
Yeah. I don't see how you
Well, you're stuck
that.
stuck with your quarterback, so the only other move you could possibly make to try to rejuvenate something is to get a new coach in there. So you got to think they're going to try to bring somebody in, but then again, who's going to want that job? So they're stuck.
Yeah. You don't have an interim guy or something who could just, provide a spark or something? Because this guy's incompetent.
Is there a Shanahan we can hire or something that can just tide us over?
Yeah, don't they have a Hunter Shanahan who's kind of a fuck up, but he's also attached? We could hire him just to get other Shanahan type people in the building. I don't know. The ball boy at this point, more competent.
Yeah, the guy from ESPN's media team.
Yeah, Hustler's here. Shout out to him. How you
What
doing?
up, Huss?
Love that guy. I check out his streams when I can. He's got one that starts right when I get out of work, so I can catch the first half of that. Heather's here. Hello, Heather. Now it's a show. Now it's a party.
Yeah, go check out Huss over at 420 Fantasy Hustler Network. He's got 420 Fantasy Football here on YouTube, Twitch. He's all over the place. But Facebook, he has Fantasy Football for experts, gurus, and beginners. There's like 90,000 people in that group. It's
Holy
huge.
shit.
If you're not in there, you're missing out. I mean, there's so much information in there. We're in there a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that guy knows his stuff. Like, I see people ask about defensive players I barely know about. He's like, oh, yeah, and he'll give you the last 3 games that guy had. It's crazy.
If you need legit waiver wire stuff tomorrow morning, wake and bake. Waiver wire day. But, yeah, they stream all day, every day. So you can check them out.
It's like an IDP savant. That guy.
Oh my God, dude!
I've-
On another level, we're about to jump in a few of his playoff leagues that they have.
Ooh.
They're doing a bunch of playoff leagues. We're gonna jump in a few.
Playoff leagues are fun.
3 weeks. 3 weeks for everything. It's a gold rush.
I've done FFPC before. It's probably
Yeah.
kind of like that. You draft a team and then you kind of have to decide if you want a star player who's probably going to get eliminated or if you want to take a mediocre guy who's probably going to advance. A lot of strategery involved in there. Playoff fantasy football. I forgot about playoff fantasy football. My teams are so dead. So
Yeah.
I haven't been excited
New
about fantasy
birth.
football for a while.
New birth.
Yeah. We're rejuvenated. We're like the Phoenix. Risen from the ashes. How's your team doing, John? Are you still dominating? Facebook user Rogers said he'll be back next year. He says probably Facebook user. If you click on the thing, what do they have to do to show us their name, Chris?
Yeah, click on the link. We can see your name. You're probably hiding because Rodgers ain't coming back.
Yeah.
It's the love train, baby. Or we might get Baker Mayfield. We all might wake up and be Baker Mayfield fans.
That's another thing. Hustler makes a good point. Those first round bye guys, you get no points the first week. So you need to be able to weather that and survive the first week if you want to have, Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is going to be the guy that everybody debates about because there's probably your 1 seed. You think the Chiefs are the 1 seed, John?
They didn't look like it after yesterday. You got to be
No.
able to beat the Bengals.
How do you have I saw a ranking today. It was like Bengals, Bills, Chiefs.
That's kind of how I see it right now. With how the
Bengals
teams
are a
are
different team than
health-wise.
when they started. They've got everybody at full capacity and
Yeah.
they're firing on all cylinders, which we saw yesterday. And he is the monkey that Pat Mahomes can't get off his back now. Now that's the storyline, which is really interesting.
Yep, 3-0. 3-0 now. Doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how high the stakes are. AFC Championship game. Joey Burrow will go in there and beat the Chiefs. And they
And
just
hats off
beat
to him.
I watched most of that game and they just beat them throughout the game, up and down the field. They were just better. Tyler Boyd dropped a sure touchdown, and I thought that was going to be the difference, the fact they kicked a field goal instead of scored there, but they did end up getting it done. I heard a lot of nerds explaining to me today why math says the Chiefs are still better, even though these teams played on a football field yesterday and one lost. And the math says, I don't know. We're not
Nerds.
playing math. Like Maurice Claret said, I didn't come here to play school.
That's right. Yeah. I feel like I butcher his name every time I say it, but Perrine, he's a
Pirine?
stud.
Pirine.
Pirine.
Yeah, him
Really?
and Mixon were at OU
That's how
together.
you say it?
Yeah.
Pirine? That sounds like
Pirine.
a redneck saying it.
Samaje Pirine.
Easy. We're from the South now. We
Well,
have
the
dignity.
dude was a stud yesterday.
And
Love
last
the beard.
week.
He was
Yeah.
an absolute animal at OU. He was just in there with Mixon
yeah?
and Pirine.
Is it just me or
and
did he
just
come out of
bunch.
nowhere?
Oh.
I mean,
A
I'm
little
probably
bit.
not
He
as-
had a
I'm probably
For
not
me, I've
into all the
known about him,
details
right?
as
I've
you
known him
gambling
since
degenerates. But
what?
I said I'm probably not as into all the depth charts as much as you gambling degenerates, but he seemingly came out of nowhere and
He had an
looked like a stud.
okay rookie season, but then he kind of fell off, and it seemed like he was just going to be another one of those random running backs in the big bargain bin of running backs. But
Yeah.
he's really come on. We had somebody ask during Wake and Rake about Mixon, and they had Pirine, so hopefully they started Pirine as we suggested. How did we not get to this yet? Deshaun Watson, rough day. He's a little rusty, but give the man a break. He hasn't seen
Plays a
oil
little
in 2
tight.
years.
I think we're going to get a guest on real quick.
I can do that. Let's do that.
Little fantasy hustler. Huss is going to come
That
on and
works
talk a
for
little
me.
sports. Talk a little
works for
fantasy
me.
sports.
Works for me. He's good people.
Hell yeah.
Let's maximize the window for that.
Well, they kind of did a media blackout on that game too, right? So there wasn't as much coverage as
Yeah.
a normal game featuring a prominent NFL quarterback, but yeah.
Yeah, you could see it in the general, like if you were in the 5 miles from the stadium or 5 miles from Baker Mayfield's house, formerly Baker Mayfield's house.
And I think there's just a lot of people are just tired of the story. And you can write as much as you want, but everyone's tired of reading it. So let's just move on. And I'm all for it.
He didn't look like a guy who's ready to play football. Like, what has Watson been doing in practice? Throwing at dudes' feet? Because that's what he was doing all day yesterday. I think he had 12 completions out of 20-some attempts. Didn't look good. He tried to pull one down, and it came out of his hand, and it was a fumble. Not ideal. I thought he would at least pile up some rushing yards.
Yeah, against Houston. Yeah, something.
They were playing motivated, though. I don't think Cleveland scored an offensive touchdown. I think that they won that game with a pick six and a fumble recovery. I can't pronounce that, but hello. I was trying to figure it out like a license
Twitch
plate.
listener to JST Killer. Hello.
There we go. I was looking at it like a license plate. I'm like, I can get this. The Twitch. I was thinking about the Twitch today and playing video games over there.
Yeah.
Do that. I need to learn how it works. Play.
You want to be one of
some
those
Madden.
nerds?
Nah, we'll play cool old games like NHL 94.
Ooh.
We'll create a player.
Did you ever play NFL? Shoot, it wasn't Blitz. It was the knockoff. NFL Extreme. PlayStation.
No. Let's
Oh,
get into a little bit of last night, Dallas Cowboys, though.
Oh, the 54 to what was that?
I went to bed. What the F happened?
It was 20-19 after the third quarter.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it ended 54-19.
That is your Team America just showing out. That's impressive.
54-19. That's significant. Is that a record?
You didn't watch it, did you? Did you,
No,
John?
I was in bed.
I watched it until the scoop and score, and then I turned it off. And then it's a good thing because it would have been a huge waste of time.
I'm going to bring in the 420 Fantasy Hustler. I know he watched it. He was probably streaming the entire thing.
Donovan Wilson, 7 tackles, 1 assist, 1 sack. He was probably all over that.
It got ugly.
Did it, John?
Yes.
33 points in the fourth quarter. How is there even time to do that?
Show me the money!
Turnovers.
What's up, Huss?
What up? What's going down, everybody?
Hey, how you doing? I'm just looking through these stats. Malik Hooker interception. How did they score 33 in the fourth quarter?
Well, shit. I mean, Malik Hooker was a huge part of that. He had an interception. He had the scoop and score on the fumble. Like, man, it was ridiculous. Let me see how many points he actually put up yesterday for a little bit of context.
Hey, John, Huss is a big IDP guy.
Oh,
in
yeah.
fantasy.
Individual defensive players.
Yep.
All right.
And the scoring that we use is IDP 1, 2, 3. Get like 2 points for a tackle, solo tackle, 1 point for an assisted tackle. The interceptions and sacks, big plays though, 6 points on those. And he got an interception and he got a touchdown. So like just 12 points just
That's
on
a
those.
12-point play.
Yeah, and the scoop and score. So that's the fumble recovery. So yeah, it was 9. Was that 9 plus the touchdown? 15 points on the scoop and score play. Yeah, 22 points total. And I mean that's RB numbers right there.
That'll swing a whole matchup.
Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't happen all the time, does it, Huss? Where an IDP
No.
guy just comes in and wrecks shop.
No, and think about it. How many defensive touchdowns happen throughout the season? You know, like it's not a crazy amount. How many INTs? I mean, the most we have, maybe we have one guy crack double digits. Other than that, you know, most guys, maybe you have 2, you know, on the season if you're like averaging it out for everyone. So it's almost as exclusive as touchdowns are. Touchdowns are probably scored a little bit more often than those plays are, but still the 6 points on a lot of those big plays. Sacks as well. That's another one, 6-point play.
Wow.
Sacks are a 6-point play.
Yeah.
So how
Boy, the Watt brothers were dynamic back in the day, huh? Harris
2012 JJ Watt, like he could have been like the first overall pick, like he was doing so good back then.
Wow.
How do you prioritize guys in the draft? Like a Micah Parsons, he steps off the bus and gets 2 sacks. Do you rank him around like a Saquon Barkley, or like what round are you taking Micah Parsons?
I guess it's just like, I guess you can kind of equate it to like regular team defense. Like even if we think these team defenses are going to score like super high, there's just a certain place where they're going to start going off. Like no one's going to draft a team defense in 2nd or 3rd round or anything. IDPs, like guys like Micah Parsons, he was going like first or second overall in like IDP, like out of the IDP guys, but 5th, 6th rounders, unless someone was crazy and wanted to jump up a little bit higher than that. But seems like in a lot of these IDP leagues, usually between round 6 and round 8, that's when the action starts. And the farther it actually like makes it so sweet though. You start getting these IDP guys going, and then you get all these wide receivers who shouldn't have lasted this long, or running backs that shouldn't have dropped this far because of it.
Yeah, you're getting Christian Kirk in like the 12th round and shit because
For sure.
these defensive players are going. And do they just start flying off the shelf once a couple defensive players are drafted?
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean, you'll see it. It just goes in waves. So like maybe it's like back-to-back linebackers, and then maybe we'll get a little mini run of linebackers, something like that. But yeah, you'll see it go in waves. And it's really when people start getting not desperate, but antsy because maybe they tried to push it off. Then people will start prioritizing it like crazy.
And these playoff fantasy football leagues, those start in the wild card round, right?
Yep. So week 19 is what I tell people, just for so they can understand it. Literally the week right after week 18 when the regular season stops. And all the drafts kind of happen between the end of week 18 and the start of week 19 because we don't know every single playoff team until really that Sunday. Luckily, we don't have any Monday games.
Yeah. And then you have to strategize. Okay, do I want to draft a guy who's on a team that has a bye?
Yeah.
Do I think, I can survive that? You need to draft a pretty solid team otherwise if you're going to do that.
For sure. And so these are the 3-week tournaments. It's total points. So it's not head to head. So you think about it, whoever's going to have the bye. I mean, there's going to be 2 teams. Luckily, it's only 2 teams total, not 2 teams per conference. They're only scoring in 66% of these games. I mean, that's a big margin. We have no idea if it's going to be the Bills, the Chiefs,
the Bengals.
Yeah, and seeing for selfish reasons, I would love to see the Chiefs not get the bye week just so we can target Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and not think twice about it.
What how many? So you're gonna pop off some. You're gonna put on some leagues. You're hosting some leagues, right?
Oh yeah,
Talk about that. How can we find? I mean, how do we do it?
So you want to go to 420crew.org, and that's where I'd say 95% of the communication is happening with this. When drafts are going to be coming up, things like that. But that reserves your seat at the table, so you can sign up for as little as $3. We have all these raffles that we're doing this month as well. So the higher the tier you go on, the more entries you have into these raffles. And yeah, you can join as many as you want. I've just found that I want to make people join our community because you will like it once you get immersed in it. And we've had some flaky people. And I feel like if someone's going to waste time and flake, at least they can give me a couple bucks for having to deal with replacing you, last minute.
Absolutely. How many leagues are you going to roll with this year?
So the first year we did it, 2020, we had 9 of these. And actually, I guess 2021, if we're getting super technical, but the COVID year. And then last year we had 13 of them. And I know for sure we're going to have more than 13. How many more? Maybe we get to 20, but there's a lot of interest, So you're just drafting for a week. Yeah. You are, because you're in all of them. Oh yeah, for sure. And so we do it. Last year, we only did slow drafts, or the previous 2 years. But now, since we're going to have so many more leagues, we're going to offer slow drafts and fast drafts. So a fast draft is just a normal redraft league. A slow draft is you have 4-hour clocks. And so it's for the people who may be working or whatever that can't sit down for an hour and a half straight or whatever. Maybe some of these take 2 hours, but so offering a lot of options to make sure that the degenerates can get in no matter what your schedule is.
I love everything about that. Skip's here. Good evening from Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Yeah. That's my dad.
To you, sir.
What's up, Pops?
Now these
always watching us.
Yep. Under the watchful eye of Skip.
Hey, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of your brands that you've been getting on here lately. I know that you've got some investors. Talk about, I know Eric's rolling with something you gave us. We won the Tyson.
That's a sweet shirt.
Tyson 2.0, super dope. And yeah, it's Mike Tyson's cannabis brand, and we got a bunch of swag bags from them, and we're gonna get promo codes, discount codes for people to go buy swag off of their site. We partnered up with Heisman as well. If you go to Heisman.shop and use the promo code 420crew, you get 15% off. And Heisman, that's Ricky Williams' brand, and he's been on the show 3 times in the past year, and we're working on getting a monthly show set up that we're going to have going on. It's just really figuring it out, the times and days that they're all going to be, because man, it's crazy, that guy. So
hey, but there's another brand that Eric's going to be really excited
Heisman,
about.
that's a brilliant name. That's so clever.
For Ricky, absolutely.
It's so clever.
And if you go check it out, the Letterman jacket that they have, oh man, it's so fire. So fire.
What about TikTok?
Oh yeah, let me pull this one out here. That's the
house.
Man, these we're working on getting a discount code with them, and it's the Cannabis Guardian Angel, our man Hess. He's a big investor in a lot of these companies, and so he's really like paved the way to help us get in the door to be able to talk to some of these guys and get them, advertising with us and sponsoring the show. And yeah, it's just a huge crossover, with the cannabis and football in general. And if we take it down to fantasy football and sports betting, I mean, who doesn't like betting on games and smoking a lot of weed, And so these guys, they know what's up. And there's nobody doing this out there besides me, like taking on the crossover. And but yeah, we're just going full force with it.
We're gonna collab a little bit with them.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be
on the betting side
for sure.
It's gonna be a lot more guys like you popping up, I think. But you're gonna be the ground floor original. Yeah. Back to these playoff fantasy leagues. Now the second week, do the points double?
No. So there's nothing like that. Because I know on some of these sites, and it is to like, what is it for? It's for the people who like, they miss out on the game, and it kind of like makes up for it. But no, it's all part of the strategy. But I changed things around a lot compared to a lot of these leagues. So like in this league, it's an option to start a quarterback, because let's say you only get one. It's a super flex, one super flex, and that's it. So you don't have to start a QB necessarily. So let's say you do go out and get a QB, but you can't play them in that first week. You're not forced to start another QB. So it opens up the level of strategy that you can have. And
it's way better.
I like that.
And then I believe it's going to be like 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and then 2 or 3 flexes. I think it's 6 total offensive spots. And then it's going to be 4 total IDP spots as well. And it's just going to be 4 IDP flexes where you can literally play any position, whatever. And the IDP is what's going to make it interesting, because you really never, I mean, it's all about guessing these teams that are going to make it farther. Obviously, if you pick, guys on the team that make it to the Final Four, your team's just going to be stronger either way. 12 teams are in it. Top 3 teams are in the money. And top team also gets a championship ring as well. And this is straight from hustlerrings.com. So yeah, we got to make sure that we have some swag going.
All business. Hustlerrings.com.
Yeah, we got to have swag for people who win. It's hard to win a championship. Super hard to win these playoff leagues too, because some of it could be luck of the draw. Did you just randomly pick, a couple of these wide receiver 4s that just like moved on to the Final Four? Like a lot of it comes down to that.
I'm gonna go after safeties. And what's the position I should go after? I'm asking as a total rookie, because I'm thinking about safety.
Hey, you're not taking strategy from Huss. Like I spend hours. You can ask Huss. I spend hours and hours watching their show. Do I not, Huss? I'm in there.
Yeah, for sure.
No. You gotta fucking. I put in work. You're not just gonna suck it out.
They give it away for free.
You're not gonna just ask the one question at the end of the movie. No.
You guys will love it though. For anyone who's like brand new to these leagues or whatever, the style that we're doing, we're gonna be putting out content. We might do a mock draft or 2 just to like have some fun. While week 18's going on and we literally have nothing else to do because football's gonna suck and the content, we're not even worried about waiver wires or anything like that.
Yeah, and that is gonna be weird.
Yeah.
We haven't gone through a week 18 yet.
It's all new for us. Everything's our first.
There'll be 1 or 2 games that mean anything. It's going to be a lot of bench guys.
Yeah. for
DFS
betting
lineups, I
purposes,
guess, will
like
be fun.
only the degenerates are betting in week 18, you know. So like I
Yep.
I assume it'll be a good week for you guys.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're in on that.
A lot of questions. for sure.
I'm gonna tell on Eric a little bit. This guy wakes up and he's betting Korean football at 3 in the morning.
Baseball, yeah.
Baseball, Korean baseball at 3 in the morning. Like this,
And
You got to
see,
get
I
something
mean, if
going
there's-
in the morning.
If
there's
there's a way
no
to
lack
bet
of
on it,
there's
we're gonna
no
figure out
lack
a way.
there's no lack of lines and betting advice at any 24/7 coming out of Patriot Sports Radio.
There we go.
There's
And I didn't realize
anything-
that. I didn't realize that BetMGM that they had an online app that you can use. So I'm finally
Yep.
gonna get connected with that.
Oh, nice.
Because I haven't been doing too many bets. Because like just going down to the casino itself, you know, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the mission of
It's a-
itself.
It's a deal. Like
Yeah.
it's a deal.
And even
Yeah,
though
don't
I
make
go
it an
to-
ordeal.
I gotta put on underwear and shit. Not going all the way down there.
I go to
Yeah.
the South Point, so it's a little bit more lax than a lot of these other casinos. I mean, pretty easy to get in and out, but still, you got to go in the parking garage. And of course, the sports book is like literally on the opposite side of where all the entrances are.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the milk in the store. Those motherfuckers.
Have you guys have you guys heard of the Circa in Las Vegas?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you guys been there yet?
No, I haven't. I've seen
No.
that stadium swim though. We follow Derek Stevens around on Twitter. He's a pretty great guy. He's doing awesome stuff all the time. He's just a gambler who knows what gamblers are gonna like. It seems like.
For whoever's coming to Vegas, definitely go check out the Circa. I've only been there once, but it's like it's one of those ones that makes you go into the sports book and you almost like, you know, have a little orgasm in your pants because it's like it's a 3-story freaking sports book stadium almost. It's games upon games like everywhere. Like it is fucking it's amazing. It's amazing.
That sounds incredible.
Hey,
I
Huss,
should make a
what
business trip.
So you talked a little bit about some giveaways. What are you guys giving away this month? Like what's in your so if I was to go sign up and I get 1,000 entries, what are we giving away this? Because there's one in there that needs to hang in the studio.
So we'll just start from the bottom and we'll go to the top. So we got this flour mill grinder. It's pretty much the dopest grinder in the cannabis industry right now. It's an $80 grinder, just different technology. It's a mill. So like literally the technology, you know, that they're using for whatever the hell you mill in real
Corn.
life on farms. Yeah,
Corn.
there you go.
Whatever the
Good
hell you
example.
mill in real life on farms.
Cannabis.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I love using it for. Dopest grinder. It's an $80 grinder. So this is like the low end of the totem pole on our raffles for the month.
Damn.
And then we got a Jerome Baker bong. It's about a $200 bong. Really nice piece from Jerome Baker. So the 420 crew is going to be extra lit. And then we got a Tyreek Hill signed jersey. It's the Chiefs Red Edition. And then for all our cheeseheads, we got a Christian Watson signed jersey as well.
Oh,
There
nice.
you go. He's a
Yeah,
boy
that's
now.
the one we're going for.
We gotta get
So-
signed up and get that.
So anyone who joins the 420 crew this month, 420crew.org, you get 500 extra entries on top of the entries that you get for being a member also. So you get an entry per dollar on whatever tier you're on and 500 extra for getting signed up this month.
Oh, you know, my teachers always said procrastination would never pay off. Fuck off. Fuck off, Mr. Yax. You didn't know what you were talking about. I just got 500 entries.
There
You're
we go.
probably
Hey,
still teaching social
And it's
studies.
420 on the West Coast, so I'm going to partake.
You did.
It'd
And,
be
he
weird
said
if
you
you
need some from the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so
Last
you-
month, I almost got them too.
no, you have them. They're coming to you.
No, I got the Tyson gift bag, right?
No. You won the set of the Cowboys.
Oh, I
Super Bowl
did.
replica rings. They
Look
should
at
be
that.
coming. They should be coming any day. To you.
Badass.
I know the post office is all kind of screwed right now, but yeah, you got those coming to you. He forgot that he won.
Man, how do you keep the
I won
lights
the-
on giving all this shit away, Huss?
We got to promote everything. It's from all these sponsors too. So
You're like a year-round Santa
They've got a
Claus.
great community over there. Go over there and check
Yeah.
them out.
And you guys are great to the community, like as far as interactive and being accessible. You got shows all the time. I know you got one that starts about 3:30, 4 o'clock Central Time. What's that? 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah,
That's the one I catch most of the time. But you got multiple shows a day, right?
And that one was built out of fantasy football news, like getting too slow out there as far as like podcasts and things like that. Because like the fantasy footballers, for example, everything they're kind of doing, we're kind of modeling everything after them, but just in a way more degenerate like style. And so every time you hear their podcast, they're always like a day behind, like on the news, because they do it so early in the morning. So we picked that exact time slot, not only because when people are getting off of work, but most of the news comes out within this 1 to 2 hour span of when before we're doing the show and then while we're on the show.
Yeah, their show comes out about noon our time, so about 10 a.m. your times, which means they record at about 9 a.m. All the news comes out after lunch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you want to get your fantasy show out there, but that does bite them a lot. Like, I'll be listening to their show and they're talking about something like, that's not the case at all. Like, there's a whole piece of news that you guys
missed.
Yeah,
it hasn't.
Like,
we'll be on the
your
show.
world.
We'll be talking about an injury and we'll be like, this is not a drill. Everyone go pick up this person right now. And we'll be like, all right, and then throw it in the chat that you picked this one up. So we know that you're good. And like, we've done that so many times throughout the year, just bringing the news and knowing it
and they're the first one on the waiver wire grabbing them right there.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
That's the benefit of a cooperative group, a community, if you will.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of people winning together. It's a beautiful, beautiful.
I don't know who the Facebook user is about the Dallas Cowboys. That could be my mom.
Oh man, your mom's a Cowboys fan?
She is. I think my mom and dad spent their anniversary at a Dallas Cowboys game. That was back when it was at the Cotton Bowl, not the Jerry's Extravaganza.
Yeah, that's quite an extravaganza he's got there.
John, what happened to your Bears?
They did just what he wanted.
The slow tank. It's the slow tank. I mean, they sold off their defense and then picked up one additional weapon, and then we lose to the Packers, which has just been in
Rogers Stadium there down in Chicago. I think they named it after him now.
Well, it's all right. We're building a new one because we don't want to pay the city all the money to play at Soldier Field anymore, so that's fine. Once we build the new stadium, we'll be in full force, and
Rogers will be retired.
Rogers will be retired.
You won't have Favre and Rogers to deal with for the last.
The big thing this year is you just, as a Bears fan, you got to accept that we're just tanking, and once you do, you can enjoy the losses. Hey, Justin Fields looked pretty good. He threw some interceptions. That's going to be the case. All these quarterbacks are starting to pop in year 3. It's year 2. He's learning from his mistakes. Next year, it's the Josh Allen third year. It's the Justin Herbert third year. We'll see.
I'm going to make this a soundbite for sure.
All right.
We'll see. You know what's so awesome about IDP is even teams like the Bears, who we may not be targeting like a bunch of people on their offense necessarily, you love their players on defense because they're on the field a lot. Time of possession. Roquan was awesome. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
They get rid of him and we start talking about Jack Sanborn. We're like, we don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he's going to step into a starting role. And so anyone who listened to us, they picked up Jack Sanborn. He's been like a crazy waiver wire like guy. I mean, you can't use him in these playoff leagues because it's the NFL playoffs, but for next year, get him on your radar.
Yeah.
And Brisker.
Gosh, I can only imagine what the Bears IDP players would have been like in the heyday. Oh my gosh.
Like the Peanut Tillman era.
Yeah, the Peanut Punch. Oh, I mean, even recently, like from the 2018 year. I mean,
the
Bears' formula for winning has always been get a defensive touchdown, and
they couldn't find a kicker.
Roquan Smith's been damn near top 12 player at the position, except for his sophomore year, when he had that off year.
Yeah, Georgia boy. I remember when they drafted him. I was happy.
And you go back to like a Urlacher and Lance Briggs, like those guys were like IDP gold.
Yeah. So, it's we'll see. I got faith in the team that they can draft. We got plenty of draft capital. We got lots of money. I think we're in a good position. It's just, you got to pull the thorn out.
Well, we've gone long enough, guys. How about Baker Mayfield?
I think you can get him for $1.5 million. You can pick him up. Should we hire Baker Mayfield? Can we put together 1.5? He could do home with Baker Mayfield commercials here.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was
that'd
gonna
be
say, you guys selling insurance. Like, I think he's good at that, or at least promoting insurance companies.
Do you think he'll go to the Niners?
I
I
really don't.
wonder. No,
Where's he going, Huffs? You probably.
I
know
think he's
best.
gonna go to Houston, but it's really because they're so bad at like drafting QBs like outside of Watson. It's like maybe take a shot at it just in case.
yeah, get
Gosh,
something that's kind of.
Can you imagine just the irony of that with Watson and everything? Him going down there.
And seeing exactly that would just make for like better shows to talk about.
Hey,
that.
what if Denver picked him up? That would be hilarious.
Oh God.
God, that would be so funny though.
They've been making horrible moves ever since
Yeah,
what's his name? Was Osweiler, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
yeah. They gave Osweiler $72 million coming out of Houston. Do you think San Francisco's going to rock with Iowa State legend Brock Purdy? 37 attempts.
I
he
think
was
that
not afraid to throw with
Shanahan-
him.
I think that Shanahan is so arrogant, and now having like CMC, they're like, well, let's let CMC throw it if we need to when we get in the red zone. But everything that he does, it's all based on arrogance and all thinking that he could just win with the guys that he has in his system.
Yeah, I can scheme anybody up. Is kind of his whole deal. I mean, I made
mean,
Jeff Wilson.
You don't
thing.
need a world beater with that team to necessarily
That's-
make a run in the playoffs.
That's
But
always been
he's
the
not winning
frustration with
anything.
Jimmy.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
I mean, we've seen some bad quarterbacks win championships before. I mean,
Yes, we have.
Trent
Tom
Dilfer-
Brady and Roethlisberger for a career like some of the best, but their first Super Bowl wins were like two of the worst ever performances by winning QB.
Yeah.
Yeah. The defense got those done. Those teams had defenses. Brock Purdy, first Mr. Irrelevant to throw a touchdown in his rookie season. He was the last pick of the draft.
Crazy.
Was he really?
Yep.
Yeah, did not realize he was that irrelevant.
He was that irrelevant.
Speaking of irrelevant things, the Commodores and Giants played to a tie. I think I fixed overtime today. I was thinking about it and I fixed it. If you tie, then both teams get a loss. Like it counts as a loss on your record. So it's not half a win. It doesn't benefit you in any way to tie. So then teams will try because otherwise you both lose. Sort of like, like back in the day, you'd smack both kids so you got the right one. That's what they did in the 80s.
A lot of these teams, though, they're really playing not to lose versus playing to win.
Yeah. Yeah, and after the game, you hear the coaches say shit like, well, it's better than a loss, or it's half a win. You are so...
It benefits them with all the shitty teams in the NFC right now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
who would have
just
thought the
don't
NFC
lose-
East would be by far the best? I mean,
They're
just
going to produce
it's
all
shocking.
four.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
3 of them are probably going, right? At this point,
Who's the top 5 in the NFC right now?
Washington is on the bubble. I have the playoff picture on my doc right
That's
here.
the
So the
Eagles.
Eagles are the 1. The
Vikings.
Seahawks are the
Eagles, Vikings,
Seven.
Niners.
Yeah,
Bucks.
that's the top 3. And then
Bucks.
Bucks would be the 4th.
Yeah.
We have
Bucks,
5 and 6.
Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, 7. Yep.
Seahawks.
Do the Seahawks have the tiebreaker over the Commandos? Because the Commandos are also 7 and 5.
Yeah, they must. They must, because I saw another graphic with the Commandos on the bubble. This one has the
Mhm.
Seahawks in the 7th seed, and
Gosh,
then the
what
AFC
a weird year for the
is-
NFC.
Yeah, it's a weird year. I thought they'd be much better.
The
The
Bucks
AFC
suck,
is
the Rams
Buffalo.
blew up.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a hangover. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Chiefs
That's
are
what happens
2.
when you buy it. I guess it bounced all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just keep buying up old guys on the tail end of their career. I'm surprised it worked once. I didn't think it even worked once. But I mean, these top 4, the Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Titans. Well, I'd say the Bills, Chiefs, Titans, and Bengals could beat any of these NFC teams. Like Philly's
Yeah.
the only one that would give any
Yeah.
of those top 4 seeds a problem.
And we got to put the Dolphins in the mix. I mean, their defense is dope, and like their offense is just insane. I know
Yeah,
that it didn't look like it yesterday versus Shanahan, but that was Mr. Miyagi versus Danielson, though, when we break it down.
Right.
Tua still threw for 300, even in a
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
So
He was getting terrorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both tackles were out for them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Teron Armstead being gone was the difference in that game. Nick Bosa was doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah,
He had
that
2
was
sacks in the first
It
half.
was like watching like a dominant high school player. When it's just they just break through every time. That's what it looked like. I saw one. There was just one play where the guy somebody pulled and kicked on him, and they took the play off, and they didn't realize how fast he was going to be, and he just blew by him. He was like, "Oh shit!" Like, dude, you have no idea. It's a different caliber. Yeah, the line looked very confused.
And when you play in an IDP league and you see a guy like Nick Bosa just go and get like a sack and, a forced fumble or something. And I mean, you just go crazy. It's different. It's just like seeing your running back just take off for like an 80-yard run or something.
Yeah, I had Josh Jacobs last week. It was nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of defense, Heather says, great call. She started the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
She had -2 defensive points yesterday. Brighter days ahead, though. The experts tell me that the Chiefs are the team to stash for the playoffs. We'll see.
What defense are you rolling with?
They got the matchups. That's just one thing that kind of sucks with the team D. It's really like all based on the matchups. Like still like the best defenses in the league are still going to be the best ones to start. But teams like Seattle, the Chiefs, who else? I think the Titans have a super soft schedule.
Oh, the Titans can make a run. The Miami Dolphins have a tough schedule coming up.
Yes,
I was
they
thinking
do.
about, can they win that division? I'm not sure they can keep winning as many games as the Bills playing the games they're playing.
They still play the Bills again?
I believe so. Let me check.
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, that'll be good.
The Bills play the Jets and then the Dolphins back to back.
Nice. Mike White was chucking it yesterday. He threw it 57 times.
Do you know how many yards he had?
Over 300.
Yeah.
It was
He was
300.
second.
It was 369 yards.
Nice. Man. And I will go to my grave believing that the Jets were the right side. They had 200 more yards than the Vikings.
Yeah.
They had a first and goal on like the 2 and couldn't score. I'm like, how do you not just run it 4 times? The play calls, they just kept getting cute. The Jets are a bad team. They don't know how to win. They get in that situation. They're like, we don't know how to win this game.
They don't
on
have
the
any
other
offensive
side,
leaders. They got rookies and a bitch for a quarterback.
Yeah,
who's on the bench.
Yeah, their supposed leaders not even suiting up for games anymore.
Yeah. They all got off.
What's wrong with them?
He sucks, I think.
No, they
He's just
benched
They don't.
Oh,
his
yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said you're not even going to be the backup. Joe Flacco's the backup. You're not even suiting up.
You're not even activated. Yeah, they all got off the bus with Mike White T-shirts on yesterday, so they're fired up to be
Can you
playing.
imagine being Zach Wilson? Gosh, how do you
Right?
lose a room that quickly?
Man, fucking everybody's mom
Really?
3 months ago, and now you're on the bench.
It's
To
not
the
the
point
room-
of Joe Cool to being a huge douche.
it's
Now
not
they
the
got
room,
shirts of the other guy.
it's not the room that he wants fans in. He just wants the fans with all the MILFs. Like that's the room
Yeah.
that he wants to be the super.
Absolutely.
Yep.
The fall of Baker Mayfield and Zach Wilson.
Yep.
In
Those
the
high draft picks.
in that group, it's so funny. The one with 90,000, I put in there. I was like, Baker Mayfield's trash. He's been cut by 2 teams in the same year, and I know he hasn't really been cut by 2 teams,
Right.
but you know what I mean. And then
Yeah.
someone was like, "Well, he asked to be released." And one of my friends, he was like, "Yeah," and the Panthers jumped on that first opportunity to say, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you're,
Yeah, you
if
gotta
you're
be
good,
careful.
you're not going to get cut.
Yeah,
Some-
straight up. Even if you ask,
Yeah.
if you're good, you might get traded, but it won't be till next year.
Yeah.
Some years there just aren't quarterbacks. Like the year Jameis and Mariota came out, there just weren't quarterbacks.
No,
That's just how just because you take him number 1 doesn't mean he's definitely gonna be a guy.
That's
Zach
what she
Wilson
said.
was number 2.
Where do you think
Tom
Zach
Brady.
Wilson's going next year? Because there's no way he stays on the Jets, right?
no,
No.
he can't stay in that locker room.
Nah.
Well, he's got to go somewhere. I mean, frickin' Rosen's been bouncing around the league, and that guy has been one of the worst quarterbacks of all time.
Oh, for sure, he's going to the Bears then.
Yeah,
Pretty sure we saw Kyle Allen starting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some trash quarterbacks out there.
Yeah, man. Can we just, I guess, go back to Davis Mills? I don't know. I mean, people wanted 17 games. They want 18 games. We're in week 13. We got fucking Kyle Allen starting. I mean, it's a rough game.
And it's their choice too. Not even out of desperation. It's their choice to start Kyle Allen.
Yeah. I can't believe Wofford came back in after he took a hit that basically looked like his foot got crushed. And he came back in a couple series later. I don't know. The Rams have almost nobody left.
Perkins just can't throw the ball. It's like if he's not going to be running, it's like you might as well not even be in there.
No. And then Baltimore had a similar situation. They brought in the backup and just got super cute, started running flea flickers and double reverses and shit.
I called it, or I was calling the play. I'm like watching it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most ridiculous play. So you're like calling it like an announcer. Oh my gosh, it's a reverse. Oh, it's a double reverse. Oh, he's pulling down, he's throwing it. Oh, Justin Simmons right there for the INT.
Right there for it.
There's a lot going on for that.
I mean, he just softly lobbed that thing up there. What you got, John?
I was just going to say, everybody's getting hurt. It's almost like the NFL needs to go to this, split the season into 2 mini seasons where everyone just gets a month off in December, start up again in January, just to get everybody healed, because we're watching just some weird football. 9 to 10, really?
What about
people
this?
Paid to go to that game?
I know it would suck for fantasy football. Might even suck for some betting people, but 2 bye weeks per team.
I think
That's
18,
horrible.
18 games and 2 bye weeks I could live with, because you could stagger them so there's always football.
Yeah, because you know what sucks right now is when we have a week where there's 6 teams on bye or 4 teams on bye. Or
Yeah.
whatever. We get way more football that way.
Yeah,
They should absolutely do that.
6 teams this week. That's unacceptable.
For fantasy football, it sucks.
And it's a fantasy football is a breadwinner. Like there's
Yeah.
money in it. So they should, I mean, it can move some mountains, I'm saying.
Yeah, there's always going to be a desire for more football. Not another kind of football. We don't want an imitation NFL, just more NFL. We'll always take that.
I'm sure we'll still be degenerates enough to create leagues around it or bet on it. But
Oh,
yeah,
I was just going to say, what about the
NFL?
USFL? Are you guys going to do some leagues for the XFL or USFL?
So I did one for the XFL, and we didn't really know what was going to happen, so we only threw down like I think it was like $40 or something, and
Yeah.
it was if the season didn't finish, it was just whoever had the best record was just going to win, and that was the way it was going to be, and that's how it ended up being.
Either at the end of the season or whenever they shut this shit down. Tom Brady looks a little better. I think the divorce finalizing, he's able to eat now. His face looks a little fuller. Maybe the curse wore off. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Giselle, like we hear the whole story about how, I mean, she says that she's a witch and she said, but lucky for Tom, I'm a good witch. But now all that changed 2 years after hearing these quotes. And she used to like give him all these crystals and sensual massages with crystals and all this kind of stuff. Who knows? But you can tell he looks like a crackhead now compared to like
He does.
last year. Like he looks like he aged like 10 years. He actually
Skeletor.
looks his age now. Like everything's
Yeah,
all
It
off.
looks like he got plastic surgery, but really it's just he's gone full anorexic.
Yeah, something like he's not eating or something.
I think it was the avocado shortage. Like we know that was one of his big secrets.
Yeah, that was a thing. Once it came out that avocados have a cartel, he was off avocados. No, I can't find anything
There
else.
goes all of his protein fats.
Yep. Shit. The Vikings have won 10 games. 9 of them have been 1-score games. They can't keep getting away with this.
Who do they have left?
Yeah, they're coming out of the north. I don't know if they can do any damage in the playoffs.
Nope. You can,
But Jefferson is a
man,
freaking
he's good.
beast.
He's good at the football.
Their defense is decent for IDP, but for real life, it's they're kind of just whatever.
Yeah, they're just another defense.
Yeah, they're not people eaters.
And it's still Kirk Cousins. And in the playoffs, if he makes it, he's going to have to play on a big stage. And until he proves us wrong, I mean,
Why is the
I'll
run
be
game,
betting against them.
why is the run game so trash? What have you guys noticed?
Is Dalvin Cook aging? Like I'm
They
noticing.
have two good running backs. Mattson's a good running back.
Yeah,
too. He's not
Madison's good. That class of Kamara, Hunt, Cook, the guy we're talking about, they're all kind of dropping off a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Maybe that's they're saying the lifespan of a running back, 26, you got to start watching out already. That's shit, man.
Gosh, they might end up 14-3, depending on which Lions show up and which Giants show up. I mean, they've got Lions, Colts, Giants, Packers, Bears.
Wow, those are all winnable.
I think they
games.
drop one of those, but yeah, they could end up being pretty high seed. So
the NFC is so trash that if you're playing a majority of your games versus the NFC down the stretch, it's all winnable games.
Their AFC team is the Colts, so they're good. Man, I was wrong about the Colts. Me and Coach both thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year. Colts and the Chargers, I was way off.
Everyone's been so fucking wrong about them ever since Andrew Luck left. Like they seemed like they had the team. Like you got this crazy line, you got this defense that just, I don't know, always seems like it's overproducing, but now it's the offense just can't pull anything together.
Heather says Kamara's been a disappointment this year. Hasn't had a real breakout game this season. Yep.
They were due for a down season anyway.
I don't care. I don't care if Kamara balls
that asshole every week.
I don't care if Kamara balls out this week. I told everyone to sit him. Like, fuck him. Like, he's been so bad in their offense.
He's trashed. Yeah, he probably got a lot on his mind. He may be going. He may
litigation.
He's got some legal issues pending,
and they're real issues too. That's a bad look on that video.
Yeah, his clock has been running with probably a $350 hourly rate since what was that, last March?
Yep.
So he's got his mind on other things.
Currently, the RB17. That is not Alvin Kamara.
That's not where he was drafted. I can tell you that.
He had that 42-point game against Las Vegas. Other than that, I mean, 9-7, 12-7. He was doing well until that video came out, really. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Baltimore game, Pittsburgh game, not even the Rams, 12 for 42 yards. No touchdowns, nothing. Wow.
Now
I should have got out when I could. Thank you, everyone who rejected my trade offers to try and get Alvin Kamara in the Dynasty League.
Yeah.
My rule about the Dynasty League is just reject 99% of the trades that come your way.
That's so F, John, because you reject all of mine. Who's the 1%er? I want to
Eric, when I was drunk in London.
Did you get him when he was drunk in London?
I gave him Nick Chubb for Pickens and a first.
But it's also paid off for me. So.
Yeah, that's not a bad
Chubb's tearing it up.
All right, I just made a pretty crazy trade in one of the leagues. I got back Tyreek Hill. This is in a league where we're trying to make the push. I'm like right there. And then I think my team scored the highest this week after. So I got Tyreek Hill. I didn't have a first. I traded a first for Derek Carr. QB issues over there, and it's a super flex league as well. So I felt like I still got him cheap, kind of. And so I traded away this year and next year's second, and then this year and next year's third. There was a lot of back and forths going, but I was able to keep my first next year.
Well, please, God, let's just not get hurt. Tyreek.
Just those.
You're invested a little now. You need some points out of them now.
Very.
And some next year.
But seconds and thirds are meant to be traded. Like I never plan on using those.
No.
So in these IDP leagues, really everything 1 through 6 is really gold. And I've even gotten gold IDP in the 7th rounds as well. I got Jaquan Brister in the 7th round in multiple leagues. And he's been like an IDP stud in Dynasty and redraft right out of the gate. So that's what's cool about mixing in the Dynasty as well. We have 7 rounds that we draft for rookie picks. They're all valuable. And it's like first 2 rounds are like heavy offense. And then once it gets to like rounds 3 to 5, it's like more heavy defense. And that's where you're able to get your IDP studs.
Does landing spot matter a lot as far as where you rank guys, or is it just pure talent coming out of college?
So a lot of it is landing spot. Like I don't even watch college like football. I really don't want it to mess with like my mind. Like as far as like what I think of these guys like before, because if you're not in the SEC and you're not going up against tough games, like I mean that's why
you can't judge them.
No, not at all. So it is.
Yeah.
It's mostly about landing spot. Like Ken Walker, for example, he was my number one like RB. Like I was on Ken Walker like over Breece Hall, and I was like just pounding the drum as much as I could before anybody else was. And it ended up being right because of injury, but even without the injury, I feel like it still would have been right. And it was because Pete Carroll, he always picks one guy to run. We knew that Rashad Penny was going to die, over there sooner or later. And we just assumed that crazy old Pete's just going to run the ball no matter what.
Yep.
Crazy Uncle Pete.
Yeah.
For clarification,
Go ahead.
well, the first time I watched your show, I was like, "Oh my god, that guy died!" No, every time a guy gets injured and misses time, you guys say he died.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my head because I was watching
Like
this
Nick Chubb is dead.
your afternoon show, and you were like, whatever player it was, maybe it was Baker, I don't remember, but you did the Crossroads music. See,
Oh, yeah.
Crossroads. And I was like, man, we gotta get a
That's a
guest on
great-
like that for like when Eric's like he's out for the season, I can hit it.
Yep,
Yeah, exactly.
that's brilliant.
Gotta have some funny sound bites. Makes the show more fun for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys want to get out of here and go watch some football? Huss, you about to go
Yeah,
live,
cool.
aren't you?
Yeah, we're going live in like 45 minutes. We go 30 after when we go live.
Nice. Well,
Right
I appreciate
on.
you coming on, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man, this was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Got to keep it entertaining. I like hanging out with you guys, and real soon we're gonna start making some money together. I gotta start getting on your guys' bets too.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Hey, tell everybody where they can find you guys, you and Bogey.
Yep.
gotta go to 420 Fantasy Hustler Network or at FF Hustler 420 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, on Twitch. It's the 420 Fantasy Hustler Network. And fantasyfootballhustler.com. If you go there, you can get everywhere. Guys, definitely got to join the crew at 420crew.org. You're going to reserve your seat in these playoff leagues. It's going to be super, super fun. If you didn't win a championship, you should definitely be in these leagues. If you won a championship, you should definitely be in these leagues because you should be trying to win more championships.
Yeah, you're playing with house money now.
Yep.
Get in all of them. I want every chance to get a Hustler ring.
And we keep it super cheap, like because I want the accessibility to be there. So $33 or $55 are going to be the options on on the leagues. And for anyone who's a degenerate into the squares like I am and like Chris is, I do squares for all the primetime games, only $6.50. When we get into the playoffs, it's going to be almost every game that we're doing it for. And then in the Super Bowl, so many different types of like different versions of the squares and really nerding out. I do the one where you every single score change, doesn't matter if it's a safety, doesn't matter if it's an extra point, whatever. Every single score change, that square
hits.
Yeah, beautiful.
At 0-0, automatic winner. So literally, people are gonna know if they already won a square days before the Super Bowl even happens.
0-0 is an automatic winner right at kickoff.
Automatic.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm all over that. I
Super
mean, we
fun.
got to do a collaborative live stream. We got to get involved. Super Bowl week is going to be fun.
Hey,
We're
you
gonna
just
do
need to
some
jump
stuff.
on. I'm already involved. I'm a member of the crew.
We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna do some crazy fun stuff during the Super Bowl week. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Well, you go get prepped, get mentally ready for your live stream, and we'll see you over there.
Peace out, everybody.
Thanks. Have a good one. All right, let's knock out this Corn Pop situation and then call it a day. Corn Pop is a bad dude, and he ran with some bad boys. Each week here at Patriot Sports, we shine a spotlight on a player who displayed exemplary toughness and or badassery on the gridiron by naming him our Corn Pop of the week.
I'm gonna tell it. Corn Pop's a bad dude.
That never gets old. This week's nominees that I have are Treylon Burks, who got knocked unconscious on a touchdown catch and still held onto the ball. That kid who plays for Utah, number 7, just because he got up after that.
That
hit
was
on the
crazy.
sideline. And Devontae Adams, who accounted for 177 of Derek Carr's 250 passing yards. That seems significant.
Has
Mine's Joe
Devontae got it yet?
Burrow. Mine's
Oh.
Joe Burrow for taking down the Chiefs again.
Yeah. And he had a rushing touchdown. That's true. Joe Burrow is a big game hunter.
Yeah.
Who we got? I like Devontae. Has he gotten it yet this year? No.
No, I don't think he's even been nominated.
I like him.
No.
All right.
Fine. You want to pay the man? Pay the man.
You want to crown his ass? Then
Crown
do
it.
He is.
I'm gonna tell it. Corn Pops a bad dude.
Devontae Adams, number 17 of your. I'm not gonna say it. Raiders. How do you?
Las Vegas Raiders.
Ugh, God.
Dude, Finnegan says that with so much conviction. He says it like someone just told him that Corn Pop was not a bad dude.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm the teller.
He's like, the fuck
I'm
did
gonna
you
tell you."
Yeah.
You didn't see Corn pop up on that diving
Yeah.
board.
You don't
Right.
know.
He had a chain.
See the
And
hair. on
blades.
that son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
blades.
Blades.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We truly do appreciate it. Go to your podcast app, subscribe to Patriot Sports Radio for our world famous podcast. Head over to patriotsportsnow.com, find all of our shows, podcasts, forums, all that stuff. Join us Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7:30 Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern. We'll figure out weather, injury reports, wagers, fantasy lineups. We can beat the shit out of our friends and these websites. Heather says he gets so excited when he hears himself. We get so excited when we hear himself,
We
too.
love Finney.
Until next time, be good to each other. Chris, kick the outro music.
You've been listening to Patriot Sports Radio. If you're sick of all the national talking heads and biases of mainstream sports media, like we are, this show is for you. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. For more content and merch, hit up www.patriotsportsnow.com. Find us on Twitter at PatriotsPod, on Instagram and Facebook at Patriot Sports Now, and on Getter, Rumble, and YouTube at Patriot Sports. Take care, and we'll see you next time.